Hi, students. Pete Estabrook here. Today, we're going to talk about a little story, a little analogy that I've been thinking about. Hopefully, I'll be able to communicate it to you. So, let's say a student comes to a teacher and they have in mind that they really just want to do one single thing. And that might be, for example, improvising with a small group in a jazz club. It could just as well be, I want to learn, um, the Petrushka solo. It could just as well be, I want to learn the Haydn trumpet concerto and nothing else. So, I mean, these things, they're what stimulate our interest. But when our view is really, really that narrow, what's likely to happen is that we're likely to crash and burn fairly quickly when we don't allow ourselves to broaden our field of development in such a way that we swallow up whatever that objective is. So, in the case of the concerto or something like that, an excerpt maybe, um, we want to develop the technique that makes that possible. In other words, from my way of thinking, we don't develop the technique by hammering away at the concerto. We have to get out the Arbin book. Likewise, if someone wants to improvise in a jazz club and they're really not interested in opening the Arbin book or learning any scales or transcriptions or tunes or anything like that, what's going to happen? They may get moderately better at improvising, just like they would with the concerto, but they're going to basically crash and burn because they don't have any background for their chops. Um, and I'll have to also indicate here that, if you're in a small jazz club and you're playing very close to someone in the audience, you have to have some quality of sensitivity. Endurance, of course, is required, but you have to have a quality of sensitivity. If you don't have control of dynamics or basically your chops in general, you're going to do what most people do, which is overblow to try to make the trumpet work. And that's not going to be too favorable in that small group jazz setting where you're, 2 or 3 feet from somebody's ears. So um, these are just some ideas to keep in mind. Um, I'll follow this up with a short analogy, a little story that I've been thinking about. That'll be part 2.